The year is 1945. World War II is ending. Cities across Europe lie in ruins. Empires have collapsed, and economies are shattered. But in the middle of this global chaos, something extraordinary is happening inside a quiet resort in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Inside a large hall, delegates from 44 nations argue, negotiate, and fight with words instead of weapons. They are here for one purpose: to rebuild the world and to choose the currency that will lead humanity into a new era. In the middle of these debates, a silent transformation begins. A new empire is rising, not with soldiers or tanks, but with paper. This is the moment the US dollar begins its journey to becoming the most powerful currency on Earth.
Before we dive into this journey, tap like and subscribe to Prime History Network for more stories that shaped our world.
The US dollar isn't just a piece of paper, it's a force that shapes economies, topples governments, and controls the direction of global trade. From international oil deals to foreign reserves, from global sanctions to world-changing financial decisions, the dollar holds a power no other currency has ever achieved. But this power didn't appear overnight. It was built step by step through war, diplomacy, strategy, and at times, pure economic dominance. Today, nearly 80% of global trade involves the US dollar. It's the currency nations trust in moments of crisis, the standard banks rely on, and the backbone of the modern financial system. So how did a single currency rise above every other? How did the US dollar become the world's undeniable financial king? And more importantly, can its dominance last forever? This is the story behind the most powerful currency the world has ever known. The world stands on the edge of collapse. Europe is devastated, factories destroyed, cities burned, families displaced, and currencies rendered worthless. Amid this destruction, one nation emerges stronger than ever: the United States. Its cities are intact, its industries booming, and its gold reserves overflowing. At the Bretton Woods Conference held in New Hampshire, global leaders desperately search for economic stability. They need a currency strong enough to rebuild nations, restart trade, and restore confidence. The answer becomes clear quickly: the US dollar. Not only does the United States control the majority of the world's gold, but its economy is now the most powerful on Earth. Countries agree to link their currencies to the dollar, while the dollar itself is backed by gold. This creates a system of stability the world hasn't seen in decades. Suddenly, the dollar isn't just American money. It becomes the anchor of the global financial system, a symbol of trust, strength, and opportunity. America hasn't won just the war, it has won the future. And the dollar becomes the quiet superpower, leading the world into a new era. By the early 1970s, everything changes again. The US government, struggling with inflation and economic pressure, makes a shocking decision. President Richard Nixon ends the gold standard in 1971, disconnecting the dollar from gold. For the first time in history, the dollar is backed by nothing but trust. The world panics. Without gold, what keeps the dollar valuable? What stops nations from abandoning it? The United States acts quickly and strategically. American officials fly to the Middle East and strike a historic deal with Saudi Arabia. In exchange for military protection and economic support, Saudi Arabia agrees to sell oil only in US dollars. Soon, other oil-rich nations follow. Now, every country needing oil, which means every country on Earth, must first obtain dollars. This transforms the dollar from a strong currency into a global necessity. essential for fueling economies, industries, and transportation worldwide. This one deal creates the petrodollar system, cementing America's financial power for decades. Oil made the dollar unavoidable, and with that, the dollar became more powerful than ever before. As the world enters the late 20th century, the dollar's power reaches far beyond economics. It becomes a political weapon. Nations store their wealth in U.S. government bonds. Banks rely on the dollar for international transactions. Global trade routes depend on dollar-based settlement systems like SWIFT. The United States now holds a unique form of power. It can influence nations without firing a single shot. Through sanctions, frozen assets, and restricted access to dollar networks, America gains the ability to pressure or punish governments around the world. Some call it diplomacy, others call it financial warfare. The dollar becomes a silent empire, invisible but everywhere, guiding governments, shaping alliances, and determining the fate of global markets with one simple truth: if you control the currency, you control the game. While most empires crumble in moments of crisis, the US dollar grows stronger. During the 1997 Asian financial crisis, investors flee collapsing local currencies and rush towards the dollar for safety. In the 2008 global recession, despite being the center of the storm, the dollar surges as the world seeks stability. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, once again, nations scramble to secure dollar reserves to protect their economies. Every time the world panics, trust in the dollar increases. Every disaster reminds nations that the dollar is still the safest place for their money. In a strange twist of fate, global crises don't weaken the dollar, they reinforce its supremacy. But the world is changing, and the dollar's throne is finally being challenged. China pushes the yuan for global trade. BRICS nations explore new payment systems that bypass the dollar. Countries reduce their U.S. debt holdings, and many nations increase their gold reserves, looking for alternatives to dollar dependence. For the first time in generations, the dollar is facing real competition. The dollar is still the king, unmatched in size, trust, and global usage, but cracks are appearing. Economic power is shifting, technology is evolving, and geopolitical alliances are changing. The question is no longer how the dollar became powerful, but how long it can remain at the top. The story of the US dollar is not just about money. It is a story about power, timing, strategy, and trust. From the ashes of World War II to the oil fields of the Middle East, from financial crises to global political maneuvers, the dollar has shaped the world in ways no army ever could. It rose because the world needed stability. It strengthened because nations relied on it in their darkest moments. And it dominates today because it sits at the center of global trade, finance, and diplomacy. But like every empire in history, its reign is not guaranteed forever. New powers are emerging, new systems are forming, and the world is preparing for the next chapter in global finance. For now, the dollar remains the silent king, powerful, trusted, and deeply embedded in the world's economic bloodstream. But the future, that story, is still being written.
Thanks for tuning in to Prime History Network. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated.